Hello viewers and my dear subscribers. In this video, we'll be seeing how hackers manage to collect all the information about the target IP address which they can further investigate into. In this series, we have already uploaded a video about the email OSINT part 1. If you did not watch this video, please watch that because you will also know how to social engineer and OSINT to find publicly available information about the target email address. This video is only for educational purpose and also subscribe our channel for more updates. If you have any further doubts, go to our website and feel free to give feedback and also check the popular content to know for the further commands and guidelines. Okay, now let's get into the video. To stay tuned, also follow in our social media pages. Okay, now let's get into the video. Okay, before dealing with the notion of IP address OSINT, first let's know a quick info about IP address. IP address in general refers to Internet Protocol address. IP addresses are of various types, but here we will be primarily focusing on two types. One is the IPv4 address and another one is IPv6 address. IPv4 addresses are stored only of 32 bits, but IPv6 address is of size of 128 bits. If you see the general notation of IPv4 addresses, it will start with 0.0.0.0 and end at 255.255.255.255. This is the maximum limit of the IPv4 address. While the internet was growing use and use, the address was not enough. So the notion of IPv6 address was introduced. IPv6 addresses are huge in size. It is nearly of 128 bits. If you see here, it will start at 0.0.0.0.0.0.0 and 8. And it will have 4 characters and end with it will be of 8 strings. Okay, 8 into 4, totally 32 characters in word. This is the default or the minimum value, and this would not be assigned so easily. Okay, now let's discuss another type of classification of IP address. IP address can also be classified in another way of private and public IP address. Private addresses are belonging to private networks such as LAN, but public addresses is assigned to the specific device when you are connected to internet. Suppose if you have a Wi-Fi network which your system is connected with, you will be assigned a particular address which is unique from all of the other systems your Wi-Fi is assigned to. Suppose we have 2 systems in our Wi-Fi network. Let's assume it. Okay, I have 2 systems here. One is user 1 and another one is user 2. Both will not have the same private IP address. Suppose it will start with the basic notion of 192.168.1.1. This will differ from ISPs to ISPs, and this may have the IP address such as 192.168.1.5, and this is both will not be the same and they are not the same. Okay, private addresses will be same for many networks, but in between networks. But inside a network, for each and every device, there is unique addresses. If you take the notion of public IP address, they are also unique in nature. This address was introduced when the system connects to a internet server. If the system connects to the internet server, the requests are sent in form of package or any type of switching. The public IP address will be uniquely identifying the system to send and receive the package correctly. So this is the default and the basic notion of IP address. Now we will be using tools like mentioned here to collect all the publicly available information about the victim. Okay, now let's see one by one. Okay, the first tool we'll be seeing for the IP address OSINT would be Nmap. Nmap is a publicly available information collector. Okay, this also collects the open ports of the IP address targets. If you see here, it would also help us in OS detection and also scan for the empty ports and also get the various information about the IP address. Okay, to perform this attack, we need a call machine which I'll be opening. I'll be opening in sudo form so that we will have the root access. Okay, just type for nmap and give h. Okay, if you see these many options are available and filters are available, we will be performing very basic attacks. To perform these attacks, we will require a target IP address. The target IP address we will be using here is the target IP address we'll be using will be of YouTube. So I'll just give ping youtube.com to find its IP address. If you see here, I have got the IP address of youtube.com. Okay, this is the default IP address of youtube.com. We'll be using Nmap and performing some scans to enumerate some information about the IP address. First, give Nmap and IP address for a basic scan, and if you see here, scan is open and host seems down. Okay, we'll be using another IP address to scan for our hosting. I'll be using google.com. Okay, let's check whether this host is up or not. Nmap, if you see here, we have got some information about the IP address of google.com. If you see here, open ports are 80 TCP transmission control protocol for HTTP service and 443 for HTTPS service. Both seems open and the IP address is up. Okay, we'll be creating a basic report about this IP address. Okay, now let's first give IP address, and our target IP address was this one, and the domain was google.com. Okay, the information we got here would be stored here. Open ports are 80 TCP for HTTP as well as 443 TCP for HTTPS. Okay, we have managed to gather this much information. Okay, we'll see the next tool to perform the hosting. Okay, the next tool we'll be using is who.is. We'll be using this website to gather some information about the target IP address. This website basically spawns few requests so that some information about the IP address is fetched. Okay, now let's see the website. They have a target IP address here, which is 172.217.166.110. We'll enter this here and give a search. Okay, if you see, a successful search was done. If you see, we have got much more information about the domain here. Let me explain you. Okay, if you see here, the net range of the domain is given here, and the parent company name is given, net handle is also given, also the origin AS format is also given, the organization, and even if you see, some of the information about the server and the domain is mentioned here. Let's collect all the information and store it. Okay, if you see here, we will be storing all the information in our Notepad. Okay. If you see here, all the information here is not worth of it. We will be copying first all and we will be eliminating the others which is not required. You see here, this command is not necessary and this one is also not necessary. We will be removing all the unwanted. Okay, if you see here, everything is good to go. And if you see, we have managed to get the phone number and email ID as well as reference ID as well as the text handle and another email ID and the phone numbers, the same phone number which we managed to get. Also, if you see here, we have a contact information for the illegal activity report, and for legal requests we have another link here. Okay, now let's go to the next website and see what other information we could gather. Okay, the next website we'll be using is who.is.com. With this website, we will send some API requests to gather all the information about the IP address. Okay, now let's see the website. If you see here, enter the domain or IP which is asking for. Now we will go here and copy the IP address and paste it here. Okay, if we give a who's search, we have got this much information. Now let's compare all the information which we have now. If you see here, the net range is also already here, CADR, and some up to this, all the information is here. If you see here, the other information given here is also the same. Okay, the next website we'll be using is ip2location.com. If you see here, I am giving trial demo and I'm copying again the IP address. Okay, if you give the IP address which we want to look up, it will be trying an API request which we got successful here. If you see here, some more information is given here. Let's compare the details. Okay, if you see here, permanent link is given, IP address is given, the country origin. Now we are reaching the target's country, which is a good lead. If you see here, the country given here is US, but here is India. Now let's create a report which can differentiate between the both. The region is also given here. Let's copy everything and the city is given. Okay, you may have a doubt. The coordinates are given here. What are the coordinates exactly referred to? This is not the original coordinates of the server, but rather than this coordinates belongs to the ISP, Internet Service Provider, which they are dealing with. The Internet Service Provider is Google LLC. The information is also new here. Let's add it up. Also, if you see, the local time is also given here. Let's add it up. I think so. This time is according to the IST because this works on the principle of Indian time. Okay. If you see here, we may gather some more information. See, usage type is also given here. Now let's copy this and paste it here. District is given and the ASN, which is important, is also given here. If you see, we might already have the ASN information here. See here. So we will not require this now because we have already the Overson time is also given here, which is the IST Indian Standard Time. Let me mention here for further clearance. Okay, now let's see if we can gather some more information. If you see, the curl request shows all the information which is given here. If you see here, we have some more information. We can copy this and paste it here, and we could filter it now. See, the proxy details are also given for the server. Last scene 28 does not seem valid. Proxy type is given, provider is not given, and VPN is false and Tor is also false. This could also be useful for us. If you see some more information about the proxy details is given here, you could gather it and store it here. Okay, let it be here. Okay, let's check for some more information. If you see the geo-targeting seems to be null and the time zone we already captured. The GMT offset is a type of code which represents the time zone. The city details are also, see, if you see here the name and the code is also given here, but this seems not to be that so valid. Okay, if you see the capital of the country is also here, we will copy it for further information. Okay, now let's see the next website. Okay, the next website we'll be seeing is IP geolocation. This also works on the principle of APIs and requests. Now let's copy the target IP address and paste here. If you paste here, you will see some more details. Okay, if you see here, some details are given here. Let's copy the needed ones. Okay, we know the host name is a new information here. So now let's add it up. Okay, if you see here, we have the country capital, the state here. Okay, now we'll be pasting this information here. We have got the host name. Now the state here is different from what we got from the above. Because here we got the Chennai is the city, but we are getting the state here as Maharashtra. Now let's see for any other valid information. See, the latitude and longitude may differ because this belongs to our real estate, right? Okay, the ASN ID is the same and the GeoName ID is somehow a new information we got. We can store it now. That's it. The current day time zone is not that so important for us because it belongs to the time zone. Okay, I am Asia Kolkata. Okay, we didn't get that much new information, but we got the host name. Okay, the next website we'll be using is what is my IP address. Okay, now let's just copy the IP address and let's paste here. Let's see what information could this website look up for this IP. Okay, we have a new information. The services is a data center. This is a true because we know that Google has the databases which is stored in the data centers. Okay, this arrangement is likely static IP. Maybe static IP not be the dynamic. Okay, now we'll be seeing the other type of classification of IP, which is static and dynamic. We have got the other type of classification of IP, which is static, and the next one would be dynamic. Okay, the primary difference between these two kinds of IP addresses, dynamic changes once and once the ISP resets the phone's internet protocol address. This will happen maybe once or twice a day. See, this will change according to the timestamp they have set. But static IP will remain forever until you change. Example, if you connect to a network, your private IP would be static because you will have the same IP whenever the device is connected to the router. Okay, but the dynamic IP is such a way that, example, the public IP is an example of dynamic IP because it changes in a meanwhile of time. Okay, if you see, this also reported the data center could be at Chennai and Tamil Nadu, and the lateral and longitude we have already got it. Again, if you see, it had province to give me the host name as well as the ASN number. ISP, we have already known this is the Google LLC. The decimal is not that so required, but we could copy it for further guidance. Okay, the next website we will be visiting is iplogger.org. This website basically creates the track URLs to track the victim's IP address for the given link. But we will not do this in this given video. We'll be using the other tools to find out the IP address to gather the information about the IP address which we have now. Okay, let's paste the IP address and confirm we are not the robot. Now click on find IP. Okay, if you see that it has pinpointed some location which is the ISP's location might be. Okay, it has the continent, country by IP, city by IP, latitudes and longitude, and accuracy is 50 kilometers, and the above informations are given already here. See, it shows it is from Chennai, India, and Asia. Okay, the same time zone and the same latitudes and longitudes. If you see, the accuracy level is also given here. You could copy and paste somewhere here. We have the same IP and latitudes and longitudes. Okay, but paste it there. Zip code might be useful to tracking down there. Okay, but also paste it down. Okay, now let's just align these accordingly. Okay, accuracy is 50,000 meters, which is somehow known as 50 kilometers. Okay. Okay, now we'll just copy the IP address. Okay, we will be seeing in the next website because we have already all the information which is mentioned in this website. Okay, the next website now we will be seeing is ipinfo.io. This website also works on the principle of APIs. Now just copy the IP address and paste it here. Okay, we have got the IP API request. Okay, if you see, the country here is also given as US, but if you see the address is clear here, we could copy this and paste it here. We have the country here and the address is given below. Okay. Now, also if you see, the email ID which we have already have is also given here, and the phone number which we have here is given here. Also, the proxy details is also given here, and the type of domain is hosting is also given here. You could copy this and literally paste here. Okay, just align it. Okay. You see the host name is also here, and the city is given as Chennai here. This might be the information to report about the parent company, which is Alphabet. The information is given. Now we can confirm that the server belongs to Chennai because most of the websites says that our target IP address belongs to Chennai. Okay, now let's see here. Okay, if we come here, we have my target IP address. The details we have managed until now to get about the target IP address is this domain name, the host name. We have managed to get the host name, which is the DNS, and we have managed also to get the address, which is somehow approximate of the IP address. See, we have made IP to location. Is it interesting? Let me know in the comment section. But this is somehow approximate. Okay, we will see in next video to get the exact location using another tool which is available online. Okay, we have managed also to get email addresses to report the website, also some phone numbers, also the last update dates, and some more useful information about the IP address. Okay, now let's see the remaining website which we could use to perform our remaining OSINT. Okay, the next website we'll be using is ipapi.com. This website works on the principle of API, which you can see in its name. Okay, now let's just copy the domain again and paste it here. Okay, if we do search, okay, the status is success and continent, India, a country as well as the region in Tamil Nadu is pinpointed. The city is also given here and also the zip codes and the ISP's latitudes and longitude. Time zone actually is of IST and the offset is given as 19,800. This we have already managed to get somewhere here, which we could see here. Okay, for reference, we will copy it again we will sort it out. Okay, the AS information is also given here, which we have already managed to get it. Okay, we have already got all the information except some of the given below. Okay, we'll use the next website to know more. Okay, the next website we'll be seeing is who.is. This is one of the famous websites to track down the records as well as most the unknown information about the domain name and IP address. Now, just copy the IP address and paste it here and give go. Okay, if you see here, the records, history, and who is information, threat miner, IP info, reverse, everything is here. We could check it down one by one. If you see here, we're getting a graph about the AS information which is aligned with this domain. Okay, if you see D and SPL information is also given here, and the graph is also given here about this entity. Okay, if you go above and check, you could check for records which is there. If you see location here is given as Mountain View, this might be of the parent company's location. Okay, the next website we'll be using is osint.sh. This is one of the famous open source intelligence IP logging information website. Okay, now let's see how it works. Now let's click on the reverse IP lookup and copy our IP address, which is this one. Okay, now just you enter to get the reverse. Okay, if you see here, we have got a bunch of information which is very new. If you see, it's scanned for 31 domains which is related with this IP address. See, our IP address was ending with 110. These many websites have a record in the DNS which is related with this IP address. We could copy this and paste it. Okay, copy everything and paste it. Okay, we have managed to get the DNS records of this IP address. This many websites would be leading for a very great information. Okay, now let's see the next website to get some more information about the IP address. Okay, the next website we'll be using is Codesafeguard. Let me first copy the IP address and paste in this website. Okay, if you do check, the port 80 is open, and if you look for any of these services, you could look for one by one. If you see these many ports are open. If you see port 21 is closed, and for post office in PRP3 protocol, the port is closed. Okay, by giving one by one, you could check for the services and the open ports. Okay, this is a very useful website to check the open ports about the website. Okay, the next tool we'll be using is Little Brother. Little Brother is archival tool which is found by Lulz Tech Exploit. Okay, this is a famous tool, but we will be installing it now. Okay, I'll be cloning in a carry machine under root privileges. Okay, give sudo root and just copy this command and paste it here. After it gets clones, just enter the directory and install the requirements. Okay, all the requirements are already satisfied, so just enter the command python3 littlebrother.py. We are going to the first menu, which is lookup. We are going to the fifth one, is IP lookup. I'll be giving the IP address here. Okay, if you give the IP address, it located it. This is from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and India. And ISP and organization is mentioned here. This information is already accessed by us. Okay, now let's check for the next tool. Okay, the next tool we'll be using now would be OPRecon, which is from OPRecon. Okay, just clone this in your directory. I have already cloned it. Now I will be opening it. If you see here, you will have the big requirements.php file, which you must install here. Okay, it's collecting all the required packages. Now we can run with bash run.sh. If you see here, we will find the location via IP address or link. Okay, now I'll be pasting the IP address. Okay, if you give enter. Okay, it also gives the same information which we have already accessed. It gives the target ASN city in a country code and ISP, and also the time zone and the same information which we have already got. Okay, now we have came to the end of the video. Now we will be seeing what the information we have got. See, we have managed to access the domain, open ports, net range. We have managed to get the ASN details, also the email addresses and the phone numbers to report, and also to get any legal activities. Also, we have got the location of the parent company server, and we have got the organization name and the ID, even though we have got the net handles. And also, we have managed to get the location of the web server which is running in India. Okay, also we have got the proxy details about this and the coordinates of the ISP which is given here. We have managed to get the exact location which is of the accuracy 50 kilometers, which is quite precise. Also, we have got some more details about the domain. For the last one, they'll be using a tool called Knockpy to enumerate all the subdomains of the given website or IP address. Okay, we know the domain is google.com. Let me enter. Okay, you see here, just the syntax error. Okay, no. Okay, we didn't get any much of the information, but the cert details is given here. You could copy this for further investigation. Also, we have managed to get another IP address link with this google.com domain. So we'll add the details about the search information here and also the IP address here. Okay. This is the linked IP address with the domain. Okay. Okay, now we have a complete report about a single IP address. We have managed to get this much information about this IP address. Okay, in this video, we have managed to access all the publicly available information. The further investigation could also be done with tools like Multigo and etc. Okay, we have reached the end of the video and thank you guys for seeing until the end of the video. Okay, make sure that you subscribe our channel for updates. Okay, learn the art of hacking with Codesafeguard. Thank you guys. We'll meet you in another video. Until then, stay tuned.